What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Picks and Roll DFS. Yesterday, we went 2-2 on the official plays, bringing us to 16-5 since last Tuesday. That's our official line on rebounds, but if you tailed the alternate lines, you still got paid. For today, I've only got 2 official plays that I really like. But first, let's hit a quick bankroll tip. Less is more. You don't need to force a full card every day. Some of the best long-term bettors only hit their spots when the value's right. That's what we're doing today, being selective and aiming for a clean sweep. So our first play for today is going to be Anisha Morrow going lower than 17.5 points plus rebounds. Another thing that you want to make sure you do when choosing your props is to make sure to avoid emotion in your selection. I love Anisha Morrow. She's done a great job this season, especially as a rookie. However, you'll see that the value lies in this line for a multitude of reasons. Now, if we look at her last 10 games, which if you've been following this page for a while, you know that I talk about the last 5 being useless. And if you only use the last 5, you kind of fall victim to the recency bias. In this case, you would see that there's a lot of red here, and there's only 50% that's gone below, which will leave you cautious in playing this line. However, you go a little further, get a larger sample size, that 50% moves to 60%, with Anisha going below this line 12 out of 20 times, and an average and median of about 16.5. Then, if you go to the head-to-head, there's only been 2 matchups this year where she went 50%. As we can see, she just went above this line once and then went well below this line the more recent game. And these were 10 days apart. Then we can look at the year as a whole, which increases that percentage from last 10, last 20 to now 2025. She's hit this line 25 out of 37 with an average of 14 and a median of 14. Now, if we look at all of these numbers, we have average and median 14, 15, and 16. The only time it goes above 17.5 is when we go a little closer with the last 10 and the last 5. So, this line at 17.5 right now is perfect for this play. We can also see the line is huge favorite right now at minus 155. And we can see that you're only getting this play on sleeper and or underdog at the moment. Now, the only thing that would cause a little caution for you is the points allowed and the rebounds allowed from Chicago. We can see that they are 11th in point. Well, actually, for forwards, they're 8th, which is actually a little better for us. They're 8th in points allowed, which is neutral, and 6th in rebounds allowed, which is also neutral. But keep in mind, you have Cardoso and Angel Reese in the paint, clogging it up for rebounds, which may make it a little more difficult for Anisha Morrow to secure the bulk of rebounds that she usually does. Additionally, a lot of her points do come off of rebounds. So if you have both of those bigs in a game fighting for those spots, that eliminates rebounds for Anisha, but it also then eliminates some of those offensive putbacks. We can also see that Chicago's done a pretty decent job at denying similar guards, more guards with star power, their lines. Shockingly, Alyssa Thomas, Satu Sabali, Gabby Williams once, but then also Gabby Williams did hit the last time, going well above. But Gabby Williams is also like a heavy and prolific three-point shooter. Naneka is just a monster. So these two are outliers, and they're like stars in the league. Seattle's really good. Connecticut's not that good. This could get ugly really fast, which will then also kind of eliminate the need for Anisha to really be in. Lately, Anisha's minutes, as you can see too, they have gone down a bit in her last few games, which has also benefits the unders that we've played. She has hit our unders fairly often lately, so using the data, using the lines to make this decision of Anisha Morrow going under 17.5 points plus rebounds. And before we move on, quick reminder. New users on Betr get a free Dak Prescott pick. He only needs 1 yard to cash. On top of that, you get a $10 free play plus a 50% deposit match up to $200 when you use code DIME. Screenshot your sign up to me at picksandrolldfs@gmail.com and I'll give you a free month in my winnable VIP. Next up, we have Camila Cardoso going lower than 13.5 rebounds plus assists. Now, if we look at her last 10, she's averaging 12.6 and a median of 12. We can see that her last 20 is also similar. However, the amount in which she cashes this line has increased. It goes from, or decreases a bit, but it goes from 80% in the last 10 to a still comfortable 75%, 15 out of 20. Then we can also look at the head-to-head, which is a beautiful sight. 100% all green cash, averaging 9.8 and a median of 9, cashing all 5 with the highest 212-point game or 212 line games of 3 assists, 9 rebounds, and then 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Then on the year as a whole, she's cashed this line 86% of the time, going below 13.5 rebounds plus assists 30 out of 35 times with an average of only 10 and a median of 11. So where they have this line placed in comparison to her yearly average and median seems like a misplaced line, which is one that we want to take advantage of as soon as possible, knowing that this line may drop fairly soon. I would still take this line at 13. Possibly I would take it at 12.5. If it gets any lower than 12.5, I will kind of be cautious. You can see here that, again, it's another play that isn't really accessible on many platforms, aside from Underdog, PrizePicks, and then ESPN Bet. Otherwise, you don't really see this available anywhere. Again, keep in mind, this line may move rapidly, so you want to make sure you're grabbing it as soon as possible. We can also see that against forwards, Connecticut is 7th in rebounds allowed, which is neutral. And then their assist is 3.1, which is 10th. And it's labeled as unfavorable. However, let's say we know that Camila and Reese will be in the game. Let's say that they allow her to get this line, right? Let's say we move up the 9.6 to 10 rebounds and they allow her to get 3 assists. That would still put us at 13, which would be under this line, which is why this is my second but most favorite pick for today. So these are the 2 official plays I'm riding with today. Anisha Morrow going lower than 17.5 points plus rebounds, and Cardoso going lower than 13.5 rebounds and assists. Keep it tight, stick to the spots that give us the best edge, and let's aim for that sweep. Make sure to check out the description too. I've got links for Outlier, which I use for all my research, and Pikkit, where you can track your bets and find community plays. Both with promo code DIME. Also, today is the last day to join in my winnable for $30 off, which means that it's only $20 for a month of free plays sent straight to your phone. Tomorrow is the first game of the NFL season. You don't want to miss this deal. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps push the content out so we can keep growing this community. Let's cash these, and as always, let's build that roll.